Stewart and Reed. Jeff, this is what it's been all about all season long.
The pressure is on, the intensity. Final 3 Supercross events right in a row. This is going to be a tug of war all the way to the end. See which rider, who can dig the deepest, who can be the strongest, the fastest.
There's our monster starting grid. Of course, you have to take into consideration the tricky surface here in Quest Field. Josh Grant on the number 33, the Anaheim winner, in between the 2 title combatants. Turn 1 is going to be so key here tonight. You've got to get through there first, and that tough dirt here in Seattle. Here we go, the main event. Michael Lessig gets the whole shot. Chad Reed is down in the first corner. He cannot afford to have that happen. And Stewart buried in the back as well.
There's Chad Reed. He gets the bike going. He was down with Tyler Bowers going into the first turn. He is way behind.
This could be devastating to Reed's title hopes. And Stewart has trouble as well. You see Mike Gosselaar, the mechanic for Reed, walking away dejected to the mechanics area. Reed has no choice now but to go as absolutely hard as he possibly can. There is Mike Gosselaar, Reed's mechanic. You can see the frustration in his eyes. Meanwhile, their teammate, Michael Lessie, on the other Rockstar Makita Suzuki, has the lead.
How about Michael Lessie with that great start? Look at the start here. This is Chad Reed right there. Watch him get bumped by Millsaps. Halfway down, now watch him cross run and come into Tyler Bowers, who was not expecting Reed to do that. Very unfortunate. Reed has not gotten out of the gate tonight like he needed. And consequently, he's going to have to work for it here in this race. You see Laninovich.
He was like a pinball in there, Jeff. He went from Millsaps into Grant and then into Bowers and then down onto the ground. And here is Stewart, who's not having a great run either in this main event. He's buried deep. He's back outside of the top 10. So Reed is only about 5 or 6 positions behind him right now. Here comes Stewart through the field as hard as he can, trying to get around riders as quickly as he can. That's Matt Bonney.
Stewart being very cautious here as he gets through Bonney. Picked off a couple of riders, and at the stripe, that Stewart is 10.
Yes, now where is Reed? That's the question. How far back is Reed? And more riders going down.
That's Marsack.
Yep, Jacob Marsack goes down, and Reed hits his way past him.
I tell you, Ralph, Reed isn't that far behind Stewart right now, and Stewart really being careful here. He gets trying to work his way past Ivan Tedesco.
And Jeff, we talked about it all night. Getting through traffic going to be one of the big challenges here tonight. In fact, in talking with James Stewart's father, Big James, he said traffic is one of the things that he really has to keep telling James to focus on, because that can be a huge problem, because he is so much faster than the majority of the field that guys are not used to James coming up on them as quickly as he does with his closing speed.
There's no doubt about it. James just absolutely goes for it. Let's see if he gets to the inside right
now.
here.
He's listed in 7th. Oh, and he makes contact in there getting around Boss. If he can get around Boss, that'll put him up to 6th.
Stewart has the ability to ride through traffic like none other.
Reed listed in 14th, so he's about 7 to 8 positions behind. Stewart battling with Adams here on that Rockstar Huntington entry. Side by side as they fly over the jump, and Stewart takes another position away.
Take a look at this replay. This is Stewart as he doubles this. Nobody's done this all night. Stewart triples, comes up short, but still makes the pass on Wyndham. Nobody's even attempted that all night. Stewart's mind works so quickly. He is absolutely throwing caution to the wind and going for it.
And a great battle at the front. Washington native Ryan Villopoto on the Monster Energy Kawasaki, the green bike. Oh, struggling through the whoop section, but you heard the crowd cheering him on as he sits in 2nd, trying to catch up to the Suzuki of Michael Lessie. And Alessi going for his first ever career Supercross victory. It would be the same thing for Villopoto if either one of these two could be the first to the checkered flag here tonight.
And as Alessi's out front, it's James Stewart that is over 11 seconds behind. right now. And how ironic is it that years ago in the amateur racing, as they came through their careers, it was Alessi and Villopoto battling it out. Now, on Villopoto's home turf here in Washington, another Alessi-Villopoto battle is brewing.
And remember that Villopoto, Jeff, has been so sick for about the last 6 weeks. Finally getting back his first race back after battling that illness. And here he is, fighting for a win in front of his hometown crowd.
Look at how difficult the track is, Ralph. There's like 5 ruts coming out of there.
Jeff, as he went across the finish line, just to keep you up to date, Stewart in 5th, Reed in 13th. Disastrous for Reed in the championship if they finished that far apart from each other.
And I tell you, looking at the lap times, it was Alessi with the fastest lap, a 54.4. Stewart, who had a clear track, was only a 55.2. So Alessi, fastest man on the track. But you have to think, after Villopoto's caught up this lap, there it is, Villopoto a 54 also. And that's Millsap's just out of your screen there.
Of course, Millsap's involved in that start line incident that got Reed's night off to a horrible beginning. Stewart still in 5th, and he's closing in on Andrew Short. Reed still listed in 13th now, behind Bonnie.
Lap 7 of 20.
And here comes Stewart.
And Stewart
closing in on Andrew Short. Here he comes, side by side, and he jumps past him, and Stewart's got another spot, and even more points towards the championship.
This could be a huge night because Chad Reed is not moving past traffic like he needs to.
He is the points leader as of now. James Stewart will have a 5-point lead over Chad Reed as the series would move on next week to Salt Lake City. Another race you'll see here on CBS.
Devastating night for Chad Reed, sitting back at 13th. There's a lot of racing left. The strong will survive.
Oh, down goes Alessi! Alessi watches the lead slip away! The Washington native, Ryan Villopoto, brings his home state crowd onto their feet as he takes the lead here in Crestfield in Seattle, and quite possibly, in a few more laps, Jeff could have his first Supercross Series victory.
Little less than 12 laps to go, and the fans here are on their feet. They're loving what they're seeing as Villopoto takes over the lead. He has to keep his head. He has to keep charging forward. Trust his training and all the work that he's done.
Let's see how he made it happen.
Watch Alessi here as he comes into the whoops. Gets on the gas a little too soon, and you can see that stripe right off the top there, where the rear tire just lost traction. And how many times have we saw that tonight?
Ryan Villopoto, after battling through illness for about 6 weeks this season, he finds himself on the precipice of taking his first Supercross victory. Ryan Villopoto continues to lead here in Crestfield, looking for his first career Supercross Series victory.
And what a place to do it, right?
Man.
In front of the home crowd. I'm telling you, number 7, James Stewart is finally on the gas. He's turning to 54.9. Villopoto 54.8 that time around. So Villopoto really putting in some fine laps. He is super fast.
Stewart has climbed up to 4th. Reed still stuck in 13th.
Reed has not moved his way past traffic like he needs to. You have to wonder if the mental side of things and the devastation of that crash off the start has really taken its toll, because he knows that James Stewart is in front.
Well, you saw Millsap's Alessi, and here's Stewart. Stewart looking to gain more points as he closes in on Alessi in the battle for 3rd.
Alessi getting a little squirrely. He misses a shift.
And he's going to lose the position. Here's Stewart inside for 3rd. Alessi tries to come back.
Alessi just pulled in behind there. I think Stewart was a little apprehensive, wondering if the Suzuki rider was going to really try a block pass to get back through there. That's Chad Reed's teammate. Both riders keeping it very clean. Now there's another rider down. Billy Laninovich.
Oh, Stewart! Boy, you can see, Jeff, he put all the power to the ground, and the rear end of that San Manuel Yamaha started to spin around on it.
It is a difficult track, and at times it appears that the riders are not being very aggressive. It seems like they're tiptoeing around, but I'm telling you, to be on that bike, to be the one inside that helmet, it is anything but easy. Okay, they're out there, and it is very difficult to keep the bike straight and to keep all your momentum going because there's so many small edges and small ruts on the track. We've seen it time after time tonight where that track just reaches up and bites you. Stewart cannot afford to have any falls here. This is a great opportunity to take control of this championship with just a few rounds left.
James Stewart, the 2007 Supercross Series champion, trying to win his second title. Arguably considered the fastest man on the planet on a Supercross machine. Always flat out. Doesn't know any other gear but top gear.
But I got to tell you, Ralph, this race here tonight, James Stewart has not blitzed his way through. That's Adams.
Yeah, there you see Adams down, getting going again on the Hart and Huntington machine.
Stewart has not blitzed his way through to the lead. He has been very patient all the way through here. He's methodically worked his way past.
Well, let's show you what happened to Adams, and it involves Chad Reed.
This is the Toyota replay here as Reed goes to the inside, and Adams just slows up, trying to give way to the championship points leader.
That was our Toyota moving forward replay, and that takes Adams out, but Reed has started to close his way in, Aaron. He has fought his way up to 9th, and that is going to regain him a bunch of points.
That's right, guys. Chad Reed keeps inching away, keeps picking away at this battle. But something that was brought to my attention earlier this afternoon was how thin Chad Reed actually looked. When I asked him, he said, actually, I have lost 15 pounds in St. Louis. And I asked him why. It's kind of like a shark hunting blood in the water. They try to keep their sickness under wrap or any kind of injury under wrap. But he did have a stomach sickness since St. Louis. He's been battling that. He said every time he goes to eat something, he's having a hard time keeping it down. He's been extremely dehydrated and obviously drained of energy. He plans on putting 100% effort into this, but he was hoping that being a little bit lighter would work to his advantage. Obviously a devastating night for Chad Reed so far.
Jeff, it is such a brutal championship. 17 races in 18 weeks, beginning the first week in January, ending the first weekend in May. Crisscrossing the country from the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean, spending a lot of time back and forth in airplanes throughout the winter. It is so hard for these riders to do all the training, the hard racing, and to stay healthy.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it that the riders put in the time. They tear their bodies down and rebuild them back up, and all the travel and bumps and bruises. We haven't seen one rider this year that hasn't taken a spill sometime or another. So
Reed gets another position as he gets around Ivan Tedesco. That'll put him up to 8 and a couple more points. Come back to Chad Reed.
It's going to be tough for Chad Reed here. This is, you can see these riders just really tiptoeing through there. But now the battle starts to heat up.
Here's Stewart to the inside on Millsaps. Can he get him? That would be for second. Davey Millsaps having one of his best rides of the season. In fact, Millsaps has not finished better than third, which he's done twice this year at Anaheim, 3 and at Daytona.
Isn't it crazy how Millsaps, though, on these types of tracks, he just excels. There's just something about letting it all hang out and riding these ruts that really is his specialty. And he's put in a great ride here tonight. But Stewart knows that if he gets past Millsaps, that's 2 more valuable points towards the championship.
Hugely valuable. And you can see how quick things can turn the way they did tonight. Here comes Stewart. Millsaps, one of the biggest riders in the field when it comes to physical stature. Does that help him getting around a rough track like this?
Well, he's doing something right. There's no doubt about it. But the pressure is on from James Stewart. Stewart to the inside.
Can't get there just yet. Over the finish line, John.
And I'm telling you, Ralph, how Stewart's pivoting on those turns like that. Uh-oh, here could be to the inside. Let's see. Millsaps gives it
Got
up.
him. Has it. Great move by James Stewart. A spectacular move in one of the slower sections on the racetrack. But Stewart makes it work. Puts himself into second place. Reed is still behind Josh Grant in 8th. And Ryan Villopoto with a 7.5-second lead over James Stewart with 5 laps remaining.
You'd have to think this is a pretty comfortable lead, but hey, let's take a look at this replay of Stewart on the pass for Millsaps here. Now watch Millsaps. He's been going inside here and inside this next one. He just pulls to the outside. Go ahead, take the inside line. I do not understand that, why Millsaps would just let him by and not race for that position. Anyway, the number 2 is out front. This is a great place, and there always seems to be something about these hometown, events and things like that that gives you the extra motivation, the extra confidence. Not to mention Reed and Stewart having bad starts. That factors into this.
But Ryan has been very fast all night.
He has been. This is the best he's been all season.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Hometown crowd, the family, friends, everybody supporting him. He is less than 4 laps away from his first win.
He's had 3 third-place finishes this year: Houston, San Francisco, and Atlanta. And the former Light Series champion, one of the stepping stones up to the Supercross class, on his way to a huge mark on his resume, a Supercross Series win. Jeff, you remember your first Supercross class victory?
Yeah, it was that was a great night, you know, and you get in the record books and all that sort of stuff. But I'm telling you, for Villopoto here, he's won plenty of races.
Oh boy, he almost threw it away there, didn't he?
Yeah, and it's one of those nights. It's not over till it's over. But Villopoto is the champion, and he knows how to win. And I'm sure there was a lot of people that were doubting him earlier this season because he was not on pace like he'd like to be.
You see the gap between Stewart and Villopoto. Look how close this got.
Yeah, watch this. This is out of that second turn area. Now watch him just get a little front wheel high there. If he gets a little farther to the right, catches a tough block, and puts the front wheel in the story. Little over 2 laps to go. Ryan Villopoto, Monster Energy Kawasaki, living a dream right now. So close.
Reed, by the way, has battled up to 7th. So he keeps, every time Stewart gains a little, Stewart starts to break away and Reed chips a couple back.
It's amazing. This is a very smart ride by James Stewart. He has been very cautious. He has not rushed tonight whatsoever. Okay, he has been very patient, and that's something that we don't see James Stewart usually do. He usually just goes for it.
And for Ryan Villopoto, such a family affair. His grandfather, his parents, so involved in his Supercross racing, coming to the tracks with him each and every week. Even when Ryan was missing a few rounds, his grandfather was still showing up at the racetrack, so involved in the sport.
Yeah, they definitely have a great family unit, very supportive. Oh, here we go, white flag for Ryan Villopoto. No mistakes, Ryan, and you're going to have it.
Listen to the crowd on the white flag lap. The mechanics area and the Monster Energy team encouraging their rider for one more lap here in Westfield.
He takes that checkered flag. RC's going to owe me.
Ryan Villopoto out front. One of the most sought-after riders out of the lights ranks to step up to the Supercross class. So many people saw this young man riding, Jeff, and said he could be the future superstar of Supercross. And he's celebrating here in front of the hometown crowd.
I'm telling you, this race isn't over yet, Brian. Keep it on 2 wheels. This is one of those tracks that can reach up and bite you. But wow, is he appreciating the crowd here, and the crowd loves Villopoto.
Ryan Villopoto coming back from the sickness, battling his way to health, and now to his first Supercross win in the home state race. Ryan Villopoto's a Supercross winner. James Stewart comes across the line in second, and the championship is changed completely here in the Monster Energy AMA Supercross Series. Here is Chad Reed fighting his way to the finish, hoping to get as many points as he can.
Has not been off the podium all season until tonight. Devastating crash before the first turn, taking him out of it.
His worst finish of the year, a 3rd place at Anaheim 1. And Chad Reed is going to finish an extremely disappointing 7th as he sees the championship points lead slip away. But Ryan Villopoto is a huge winner here in Seattle. the results from here in Seattle, and